morning, friends. It's 9:30 a.m. January 13th, 2026. It's time for Coffee on the Porch with Eric. This is our weekly live stream, man. We got some stuff to talk about today. The regular gang's coming on in. This is a live stream that I've done for many years now. I'm feeling we need to talk about a few things. Something's happening here. Yes, it is. Welcome, friends. I think you recognize that one. An oldie and an unfortunate one that I wish we didn't have to play, but you know we do, right? You know that's where we are, right? Y'all, it's been a week. It's been a week. It has been a week. There is so much going on in the United States of America. Welcome to Coffee on the Porch. My name is Eric Folkerth. I'm a pastor, musician, writer, activist from Dallas, Texas, pastor of Kessler Park United Methodist in beautiful sunny Oak Cliff, coming to you from sunny, well, it's not sunny at all. It's very cloudy and cold. Coming to you from cold and cloudy East Dallas and the Log House. Used to be out on the porch, wouldn't be out on the porch today, even if I wanted to, because it's too cold. So we'd be here. We have coffee. We talk about spirituality, music, politics, and life. We talk about the intersection of these things. That's what we do here on Coffee on the Porch. So let me say hello to those of you who are showing up for our live stream. Thank you for being here. Good morning, Nancy Bryant up in Foco, California. Colorado, the other sea state. Nancy Bryant joins us from Fort Collins. Good morning, Carol Ann Slatkin. Where are you joining us from? Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Good morning, Debbie Berger. Debbie and Bobby checking in from up in Plano. Nancy saying good morning. Good morning to M. Faizi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Good morning, Judy Doyle. Good morning, Linda Waring, who joins us from Ohio. Is it cold in Ohio today? Good morning, Bobby Berger, Tara Lang, Michael Wesley. Tara joins us from Brownwood. Michael from a little south of us. Michael, we got to talk, buddy. The world is coming to your doors down there. We'll get to that in a bit. Liz Moen, are you at the lake, Liz? Liz lives at a lake now. Hopefully you are enjoying some scenic stuff. Good morning, James Myers, coming from work. Never knows if work can allow, he says, but I need to mention this AM. Well, what do you need to mention? I think you may be writing something else in a minute. Good morning, Carol Ann. Good morning, Bryn. Good to see you, Bryn Paula. Buenos dias, amigos. It is. For everybody who wants to be friends, it is a good day. Good morning, Sally Hoover. Good morning, Rick Lang joining Tara. The gang's coming in. You're all coming. This is Coffee on the Porch. This is where you are. You are here live, in case you didn't know. I mean, well, you may be watching this later, I suppose, at which point it won't be live. But we're here on Substack now every Tuesday morning. I send out a little reminder for anybody who wants to get this. Get a little text nudge about the fact that we will be live, and that's what we do. And so if you want to scan that QR code or follow that link, the text comes about 9 o'clock to remind you to be here at 9:30. That's the goal. A little nudge. So, hey, come and join the live fun, please. 38 degrees in Dayton, Ohio. Good morning, Melissa A. Welcome. Welcome to you. Welcome to any and all folks. Y'all, it's been a week. It's horrible, horrible week. I'm not even going to get into I was going to talk about my record. I often do that. I just not even in the mood to talk about anything, to be self-promotional. I just need to sit with y'all and let's get right into how our souls are, shall we? Oh, by the way, here's a joke. I'm still telling jokes though. Y'all watch The Righteous Gemstones? This is a late Christmas gift that Denise got me. Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers. We saw that show and we saw that sign, and I said this would make a perfect T-shirt, and she got it for me. God bless her. Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers. Oh my gosh. Cat Bird says this: I'm wheelist this morning, going to walk. I'm going to walk to my PT appointment a mile down the road, just after this call. Well, I hope that's okay for you. I hope walking a mile is a good idea for you, and I hope that goes well. Friends, I always do this. I always pick it up too soon because I need my coffee, Eric. It's coffee on the porch. So we get our coffee, we get our tea, we get whatever we're drinking. We have very nice coffee on the porch mugs that are available to you. I guess I am being self-promotional then. And on the back, it asks you the question that is on the floor, the question of the morning always, or at least the starting question for the morning. How is your soul? How are you? What are you thinking about? Oh, everything just reset. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It's really annoying. And I think it means it's not recording, which is fine. But how is your soul? How are you doing in the middle of this horrible time that we are in? So let's pour this, shall we? Cheers. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Take a big sip of your coffee or your tea or whatever it is that you drink to get yourself going in the morning. Then ask yourself this question of Wesleyan groups. How am I? How is my soul? How am I doing? What are you thinking about the world? I bet you're thinking a lot. What's going on in your thoughts this morning as we are gathered? And I'm going to noodle on the two songs that I'm going to try to pull out of my you-know-what today. I'll figure that out. You know who we haven't seen in a while, y'all? Larry Pennington. I hope Larry's okay. He's posting a lot of pictures online, and some friends are supporting him. And I hope he's okay. If any of you know or want to reach out to Larry Pennington. You know, his wife died last year, and just been thinking about Larry. Michael, you say you're down for it? All right, we're going to be talking. I'm thinking about, I think Trinity. Anyway, I got some ideas. You'll see why in a moment. 78, I think I already mentioned this, 38 degrees in Dayton, Ohio this morning. Cat, I read that as well. I'm down to James' comment. That's where I am. James Myers says this: in college, I had two natural geek roommates. One made millions. The other became homeless for 14 years. And about 3 years ago, he got housed. I think I may remember you talking about this guy, man. Have you talked about him before? This guy who was homeless for a while? The point is, what James is saying is he has been particularly vulnerable to MAGA. And Sunday he wasn't doing well. He kept confusing me with Grok. Oh my. Oh no. He thought you were Grok. Oh boy. Because that's who he talks to now mostly. Oh, God. And it just kind of hit me hard. This scares me, as I think it's the intention of MAGA Musk Grok. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it is the intention. And not to be recognized as his friend for 40 years. I think it is. And, you know, it just struck me that these alternative AIs, James, are going to have the potential for continuing our siloing, don't they? And once again, as the internet before it, allowing people to trust in that as a source. That's what we do with the internet. We say, well, it's on the internet. It must be true. We all know that's ridiculous now, but we all said that for years. And I think people are doing that with AI now. Oh, well, AI found it. That must be true. And I think we're going to be doing the same thing, I'm afraid, siloing in our AI as well. Michael Wesley says a shameless plug for a new group we're starting. Pub Theology starts today, 7 p.m. Chili's in Grand Prairie, 412 West Chase. Different brews, different views. Is that the name? Is that what you're calling? That's a brilliant name. Come and be a founding member. That sounds like a blast, man. I can't be there, but it does sound like a blast. I know exactly that. That's near the Woods United Methodist, where I was for 1 year. So I'm very familiar with that area. Good idea, Michael. I hope that goes well. Rick says he's been working. Carol Ann says this: Joy, I got a new foster dog today. Nugget is an 8-year-old golden retriever, and I understand he has a clear the table tail. Woo! Look out, man. Watch out for that back end when he gets happy. Can't wait for the patter of 4 little feet. That's wonderful. I'm sorry you're having video problems, Nancy. I think, as you can see, other folks seems to be okay. David Griggs, welcome, my buddy. Good to see you. I was thinking about you. I've been talking a lot with Susan Robb lately, by the way. She's been very active with our Clear Clergy group. James Meyer says this: we all know Randy Newman, of course, Land of Dreams. He mentions his family in Jackson, Mississippi as observant Jews. Oh, wow. What a connection, James. The synagogue they belong to. Oh boy, I didn't get water. That's a mistake. And drinking coffee to clear my throat, that ain't going to work. James Myers is pointing this out, that the synagogue in Jackson, Mississippi is that burned, that was torched by arson over the weekend, is the home, the ancestral home of Randy Newman. I hope you saw it was also a hub for the civil rights movement. The rabbi of that synagogue in the 60s was an ardent supporter of civil rights and Dr. King, and the synagogue was bombed or burned in the 60s. This is the second time that it's been bombed or burned in its history. God bless them. We are in a bad place, y'all. All right. Aha, Linda Waring. Linda Waring's calling us back to some issues we've talked about before. Says, thinking about the Dayton, Springfield, Ohio area, that's near where she lives, and the expiration for Haitians, the TPS, Temporary Protected Status, for Haitians gets closer. It's February 3rd, trying to decide how to deal with real-life friends who espouse eating the cats and dogs attitude. To be clear, what Linda is saying here is not the Haitians who eat them, but the white people who believe that the Haitians do eat the cats and dogs, which they do not. And if you remember on Substack, just calling back to this, I wrote a piece last year on this called The Haitians and Folkerths of Central Ohio. And I reminded you all that my own relatives, my own ancestors, were themselves migrants to Central Ohio, to that very same area that Linda's talking about. And I drew the comparison of how horrible it is that in the present day, we are harassing our administration and our government, and many of our people are harassing these hardworking Haitians. Their status is likely to expire February 3rd, and I'm with you. I'm in solidarity. You let me know what we can do. Maybe I'll... It's hard. It's ugly and hard and awful. Good morning, Brad Lind. It was really good to see Brad in the real world. I'm assuming you're back down at the lake. At Canyon Lake area. Brad was here for the memorial service for Phil Baxley on Thursday, which was a beautiful, lovely all-day of memory and celebration of one of our most important families at Kessler Park, the Baxley, Pelletier, Powell, Vanda, I forgot how to say Susan's maiden name. Anyway, very big, large, intertwined family and beautiful folks. I was glad to see you, Brad. And I'm glad you're glad to be here. Liz Moen says, my soul is virtually sitting in grief with a friend who is grieving. Actually, Rick's friend. Prayers for them. And look, here's Ann Swan joining right after you. You and Ann living right together. James says he cried when his friend called him Grok. I bet you did, man. That's got to be hard. It's got to be hard because you know exactly what's going on. You're aware of what he's doing and how hard and horrible that is. Yeah. Good morning, Nancy Kelly. Good morning, Ann Swan saying good morning. Who's ready for the national championship game, Rick asks. I am. And for the third year in a row, no SEC. No SEC. The SEC is supposed to be the be-all, end-all. Where are they? Where's the SEC? Don't see any SEC. I think, I got to tell you, I am personally cheering for Miami because SMU beat Miami, and that feels like that would be a way to celebrate and say, see, we beat the champs. But I got to Indiana, I don't see them losing, man. Oh, my Lord, they are on a roll. James Myers pointing out the last time that synagogue burned was 1967. Yeah, right at the height of it all, y'all. Right at the height of the bombings and burnings and, man, feeling like a similar time these days. I got to tell you. Good morning, John Rutherford Bryant. And good morning, Pam Seep. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Welcome to you. Welcome to Coffee on the Porch. And I just realized I don't have my watch on, so I'm going to have to watch my time in another way. All right, friends. How is my soul? There's a lot going on. There's a lot happening. Let me just get into it. I want to talk about this. This is what we talked about in church on Sunday. It was Baptism of the Lord Sunday, on Sunday. And so we're going to talk about standing against, resisting evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves. I reminded the people of Kessler Park, and I remind you here today, that is the calling that within our baptismal vow, at least in our tradition and in other traditions as well, there is not only a call to personal holiness, a desire to, a calling to pray and read the Bible and study and come to worship. Yes, all the interior things, absolutely. But there is also the call to a public witness and a public justice. This is one of the questions we either ask an adult being baptized or we ask the parents on behalf of a child. Do you accept the freedom and power God gives you to resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves? We're going to be getting to that. That's what we're talking about today, because as you might imagine, it feels like there's a lot of evil, injustice, and oppression out there. I hope that is not surprising any of you for me to say that. Before we get to that, I'll tell you how my soul is and how my week has been. This is looking down the stairs, just down the hall from where I am. Look at Holmes there, saying goodbye to Christmas. He's actually he was saying goodbye to Maria. Maria had just left the door, and I just love boy does he love Maria. Putting up the Christmas stuff, y'all. The house is chaotic. Shamble of Christmas boxes, half repacked. That's where we are in the house. Where we are in the world is that it has been, as you've heard me saying for weeks, one of the mildest winters that we have ever seen, really. And so we have the expected red oak leaves everywhere. The red oak trees shed just around Christmas time. And now we have wildflowers coming up, just popping up for no reason at all because it's so dang warm out there. That said, there's some beautiful sunsets. This was on Friday, coming back from my massage. Please take care of yourselves. Enjoy sunsets. Take walks. Remember to do that as well. Good morning, Reverend Barbara Sherlock. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Remember to take walks. Remember to be kind. This is down at Garden Cafe, our local hangout here right around the block, an extension of my own soul and life. And we had another good Sunday at church. We had 2 new members. Good morning. Welcome to the Rangels who joined us as a congregation. They came forward and joined. I think they liked this message about resisting evil, injustice, and oppression. And then we have all our children that we often have here. Y'all, let's get into what I know we must talk about, and that is Renee Good and everything that's been happening in our world over these past few days. I wrote a initial post about her that was shared 1,000+ times. Many of you shared that. It really went viral. The trolls also came out, of course, as they always do. And then I followed that up with this: let's make America good again. And I want to come back to this, but I just want to remind you can find that on Substack, and I hope you will. I'm proud of it. I love the people who are making connection between her name and what we are trying to do. We are standing for good. When you stand up for your neighbors, it is good. When you stand against authoritarianism, that is good. When you blow whistles to warn your neighbors, you're protecting people. You're protecting your neighborhood. That is good. God doesn't promise that we will be great, but God wants us to be deeply good in terms of the way we treat other people. God wants our goodness. The goodness that we understand comes to us and is a part of us and is a part of every human and is a part of what we say in baptism, that all are God's children, that this person being baptized is God's children, and that this person is now authorized to resist evil, injustice, and oppression. So, as we go through this all today, let's make America good again. Let's do that, shall we? Let me jump around a bit in terms of the order I put these in. So yesterday we were back out at the Dallas Ice field office, as we always are, every Monday since the beginning of May, the very first Monday in May. We started a vigil. We were there all the way through the heat of summer, the sweat of summer, and we have been here through the winter. It is a clergy-led vigil with the group that I am a part of called CLEAR, Clergy League for Emergency Action and Response. We are a very loose coalition. We have no central structure of clergy who have come together to organize these. And we had a good crowd. Let's see if I have there we go. There's our, we probably had 40 people out on the road holding vigil. We're there every Monday morning, 8 to 10. We invite anyone of good faith and goodwill. This is behind us, the Dallas ICE field office. This is where in the Dallas area they take migrants. This is where migrants are housed temporarily, sometimes for a week or longer, and then they are taken off to the larger detention facilities. But as you might imagine, on yesterday, we had a set piece to remember Nicole Good. And so Kim Verrier, here in the white coat, brought a bunch of candles, and we prayed some prayers for Kim specifically. We are also remembering the 2 migrants who were shot here at the Dallas field office. You see pictures of them as well. And I want to be clear, we continue to pray for the ICE agents that they not morally harm themselves, that they treat everyone with justice and fairness. They don't seem to be doing that, but we pray for that anyway. And by the way, when they don't do it, then we commit to resist more. We up the pressure, and that's what we're about to do very likely. But yesterday we did hold this time of silence for Renee Good. And at the end, my Methodist clergy colleague, Marianne Brown, prayed us out at the end. She's the Wesley director in Denton. So thank you to everybody who showed up. David's pointing out another thing. Yeah, I saw this, David. Man, this was amazing. David said this, that I should have put a picture of that up because it was impressive. 500 of us stood on the Katy Trail Bridge. So y'all, there's a hike bike bridge that goes across Central Expressway in Dallas now. And every week, somebody's out there with a sign, a few people. It's kind of like our little vigil. It's not a lot, usually. What'd you guess, David? 20 to 40, 50 people usually. This week, there were 500 people on the bridge. It was impressive. The Ice Out for Good protest organized by Indivisible Dallas, thousands of cars, many positive horns and waves. Hope we made a statement. You did. I'm going to tell you, David, I have a friend who saw you as he was driving by and texted this text group that I'm in. We get a similar response there at the ICE headquarters. Just to the left of this picture is 183, I believe, or is it 35? I think it's 35. Take that back. 35. Right out in front of us, and the traffic slows down and the horns honk. They can see us. And I think it'd be fair to say that the vast majority of those who are honking are being supportive. They 100% are being supportive of us. So I'm grateful. There are some, we got flipped off yesterday. We have some thumbs down as well, but there is no question the vast majority were supportive. There were pop-up protests all over the nation over the weekend. This is the scene from Minneapolis. What a remarkable picture that is of humanity rising up. And I got to tell you, many of you talk about your MAGA friends. I have some as well. And, increasingly I am hearing, a few people. No, not no. I don't know what I don't know what that's about, but sorry. I must have said something that sounded confusing. Increasingly, people, even on the political right, are complimenting these protests and saying that America really is standing up and being very proud that America is standing up. So I am grateful for that. And congratulations, America. Thank you for standing up. But let's be clear, that is what Renee Good was doing. This is what I said on Sunday about all of this. Wait, let me read some of these things you're saying before I get into more of my bloviating. Huge turnout in FOCO, Fort Collins. Michael Wesley says this: in my Panera group yesterday morning, we spoke of opposing aggressors and seeking justice. I shared that you cannot seek justice if you don't have a well-defined concept of what justice is. It cannot be some amorphous general idea. I think that's right. I do think that's right. I'm sorry I missed, Brad. I missed this comment from you. I'm looking for ways to influence close friends that are lost in Christian nationalism and don't even know it. Oh, I see what this is now. They don't even know it. They become part of a problem. KNOW. They become part of the problem. They do. And, look, I know we don't like to talk about Nazi Germany. People, for years, the whole Godwin thing, that was supposed to be when you lost an argument, when you called somebody a Nazi, right? You're getting shrill and you're getting over the top when you call people a Nazi. But y'all, we're about to talk about something our government is going to do. And I'm about to show you some pictures of what our government is doing. And it is literally what the Nazis did. So we need to name this. And what Brad's talking about are people who are still just waking up, or are still in it and in denial. For many of us, that's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe that people could really still be in denial after all of this time. But apparently that is true for some people. And all I can say, friends, is that is probably more realistically like what it was in Germany than our artful movie images of this, where the Nazis are the sort of these flat, totally evil people, and everybody else is resisting. I think if you look back at the history, the warning from history was that people not standing up is how it happens. That's how it happens. So I know people hate be talking about Nazis, but y'all, they shot her in the face. They shot Nicole Good in the face. She was clearly turning her car away. You see it. I saw it in the very first video, the very first grainy one from a distance. You can see how her car is. It turns and the wheel turns. You can see it. The last horrific video, the video of the shooter, you literally see her hands turning the wheel of the car before she accelerates. You see that. She literally says, "I'm not even mad at you." She says, "I'm not mad at you." She turns the wheel away from them. I pointed this out Sunday, and this is just factually true, that DHS, Department of Homeland Security, has engagement rules. And it says that if an officer, an agent, can get out of the way of a moving vehicle, they should do that. Before they shoot, they should try to get out of the way. That should be the goal. The goal should be the de-escalation of getting the frick out of the way of the car. There is no there's no written policy for them that suggests that he could or should have shot that gun. But make no mistake, and this is what I said Sunday, and this is going to get to Michael's. You have to know what justice is, and you have to know where to put your anger, because I know everybody's angry at that agent, but that agent never. Yes, thank you, Nancy. Called her. You know what? Everybody knows what he called her. the hate of that, friends, and the hate of these videos of them dragging people out of their car and beating them. American citizens now, y'all. Yes, it's terrible when it's migrants. It's been terrible when it's migrants. But now they're doing it in the public. And I've said this. I believe many of these people are Border Patrol who've worked along the border, and I believe they've done this with impunity along the border for decades, and if not centuries. America has a very violent history of enforcing the border. Texas does as well. And but it's been confined to down there along the border. Well, now CPB and ICE, they are mixed together now in these surge forces. They're bringing those tactics to the streets of America. They're bringing tactical gear and automatic weapons. They look like the military. They are not the military. They look like police officers. They are not police officers. They are ICE agents. And they are roaming the streets of America in unaccountable bands. And that, Michael, is the deep injustice. He never should have been there. She shouldn't have had to be there. She was there to protect her neighbors. She shouldn't have had to protect her neighbors because they should not have been there. Those agents should not be roaming the streets of America. We have to keep putting this back where the onus belongs, where the nexus belongs, and that is with Trump and the leaders of our government who have this as their intentional policy to send these surge forces. I have said to you for months that I believe these surge forces, the only real point of them is to sow division and hate. And more people, I think, are waking up to that. I think we didn't want to. I think a lot of people didn't want to. They said, no, we trust the police. We trust the law. We trust the system. Let's get the bad guys. Let's get the bad guys. Studies show, and I'm just going to keep saying this every week, studies show that these policies, these surge forces specifically, the surge force that killed Renee Good and that is storming through Minneapolis right now, they've analyzed the data when they did it in LA, when they did it in Chicago, when they did it now in Minneapolis, when they did it in the Carolinas, where else? DC, other places, Memphis briefly. They've analyzed the data, and it shows these actions are less effective in terms of the stated goal that the Trump administration itself has put out. So, Brad, to your friends who say they're still supporters, just point out to them, by percentage, if the goal is to get bad guys off the street, which they continue to trot out the names of very bad people they're getting off the street. I have no doubt that they're rounding up bad people off the street. No doubt. But by percentage, they're getting fewer bad guys than Joe Biden did. This is less successful at getting bad guys off the street. And what is happening is thousands and thousands of innocent people, completely innocent people with no criminal, no traffic ticket, no nothing records are being rounded up on the streets of America. That is what is happening. And citizens are now being shot in the face. So, I don't know. We've been saying this for months. I didn't want this to happen, but are you surprised? I mean, I'd love to see your comments. Are any of you actually surprised that this really did happen? This is predictable because the goal was to stir people up. The goal was to stir people up, and they did it. They stirred the ICE agents up. They stirred the community up, and it's on them. It's on our leaders. So let's make America good again. Jesus eviscerated his disciples when they argued about who is the greatest. Who's the greatest among us? He turns to them and he just eviscerates them because Jesus wants us to be good. He wants us to be good. And what that means is loving your neighbor as yourself, loving your enemy, leading with goodness and love. That's what we're supposed to be doing. It's always a hard thing, and it's very hard for law enforcement. But I guarantee you what is not good, and that is roaming bands of agents in American cities. And I think America is beginning to understand this. These policies are deeply, deeply unpopular. But y'all, let's talk about Nazis. I don't want to talk about Nazis. I really don't. Let's preface it this way. I don't want to talk about Nazis. That said, I'm not the one doing this. This is a picture of Kristi Noem, one of the lead representatives of all of these policies, the one who called Nicole Good a terrorist. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And this week, she stood behind a podium representing your federal government with this slogan, "One of ours, all of yours." One of ours, all of yours. Friends, while we're here on Coffee on the Porch this morning, I want you to look up that expression. I want you to go to AI and you feel free to fact check me, because that is a Nazi expression. That is a fascist expression. That is an expression that has been used by Nazis and fascists all over Europe for decades. It is traced in large measure back to Czechoslovakia. And the idea that if you harm one German, one fascist, we will kill all of yours. Kill one of ours, we'll kill all of yours. Y'all, I'm telling you, you need to Google this. You need to pay attention to this. This is not a drill. This has not been a drill. Now, she didn't explain this expression. She just stuck it out there, like everything else they do. Like Donald Trump saying to the Proud Boys, stand by. Everything they do is coded as a whistles. It's out of a playbook, 100%, Anne. It is Hitler's private army. It's like Hitler had a private army, and Donald Trump, remember, ICE agents and CPB are under the administrative state. They are not under the legal system. Prayers to you as well, Sally. Good morning, Hope Stevens. These agents are under the administrative state. David Griggs is saying maybe she got this from Stephen Miller. I don't know. I just know that you can Google this and you can find very clearly this is a freaking fascist slogan. This is a Nazi fascist slogan. One of ours, all of yours. And that gets us to this. The proposal that your government has that broke over the Christmas holidays to open roughly 10 megasites across the country that will house human beings in warehouses. I am not joking, y'all. This is not a drill. This is not a joke. I tell you these things, and many people say, oh, Eric, it can't be that bad. You go look it up. Go look up the Washington Post story. There's now a WFAA story about this here in Texas. This is a picture. This was posted this morning from my dear colleague, Reverend Mara Bim. Myself and Mara and Kim, who you saw a picture of earlier, we went down there to what we believe is the potential site. WFAA is reporting that the site will be in Hutchins, Texas. WFAA is reporting that the North Texas site will be 1 million square feet and potentially house up to 10,000 human beings in a warehouse meant for freight, meant for boxes. Human beings will be stored in these warehouses. The only warehouse in Hutchins currently on the market that has 1 million feet is this one. And we're not going to give the address, but we did go down and we did look at it because it might not be this place, but we are pretty credibly in our belief that it probably is this place. I want to, let's see if I can do this behind the scenes. Pull up. Yep, there it is. Let me read you this quote, if I can, from the mayor of Hutchins. This was in a WFAA interview, a statement that he released. Where is it? City manager did some digging. This is the city manager of Hutchinson. They're concerned. Oh, I'm sorry. That was about Georgia, what I just said. Never mind. The mayor of Hutchins, that said, Mario Vasquez, issued a statement to WFAA, our local affiliate, who's saying this, quote, "The warehouses we have are for storage, not for holding people. It's something we don't need in our city and something we don't want." So WFAA is pointing out that, like we said, the only potential warehouse, and by the way, I took a picture as well. It looks a lot like this other picture. This is a picture that I took of that warehouse in Hutchins, Texas, just south of where I am sitting right here, near where Michael lives. Michael, this is my point. This is my point, buddy. We are going to be looking for ways to stage a witness to this injustice somehow. Yeah, it is. That is sarcasm. Michael's saying, got to do something with that unutilized NAFTA space. It is, in fact, Carol Ann, it is right next to the Hutchins jail. It is right next to the Hutchins jail. The Hutchins jail, in this picture that you're looking at here, the Hutchins jail is just off to the right. If I had panned a bit to the right in this picture, you would have seen the Hutchins jail. Michael, the other thing that strikes me, all of that warehouse industrial area, John Wiley Price, Commissioner Price, had a lot to do with creating this. And the goal, I'm just going to remind us, 20 years ago was to bring jobs to South Dallas. That was the goal, to bring jobs to the black and people of color, black people and people of color of South Dallas. That was what Commissioner Price wanted. It's what a lot of us wanted, more economic development in that sector. The fact that it is very likely that one of those warehouses meant to bring jobs to people of color are now going to house people of color, you cannot make this up. Yeah, James, that must be it. 100,000 people detained. Yeah, it is surreal, Anne says. This is surreal. Friends, the only point that I wish I could tell you, no, this is an overreaction, but it is an announced plan. I will tell you that it has been confirmed to us, we clergy. We do know some people in ICE that we talk to as pastors, and they have confirmed that this is under consideration. They've even told us a little bit about how this may happen, how the renovation may happen. They haven't told us where the exact site is. This site is our guess, but it's going to be somewhere down there. And again, that's why I am not willing to share with you the actual address. But this is going to get really ugly. You think it's ugly now, y'all? I don't like telling you this stuff. I haven't liked it for a year. I haven't liked all the things I've had to tell you that I was afraid were going to come and that have come. But here we are. And I ask you today, do you accept the freedom and power God gives you to resist evil, injustice, and oppression in whatever forms they present themselves? Do you? I hope your answer is yes. Yeah, James is, I think James is still noting, I don't think that's supposed to be permanent housing for those people. It's going to be temporary on the way out the door. So they theoretically could be getting rid of 100,000 people at a time, James, is I think the idea. So you just have to do that 10 times. Well, that's all you have to do. I don't even know where to go with songs. I guess I'm just going to do this one, which I didn't really practice much, and but just somehow does feel like a song for our day. I feel like we need a little song, even if it's a harsh one. I was going to do another song. Maybe I'll hold that for next week. See if I can pull up the lyrics. See if I can get through this. Something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware. It's time we stop, children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. Thousands of people in the street, singing songs and carrying signs, mostly saying hooray for our side. And it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. Starts when you're always afraid to step out of line and the man come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. That feels like the ending we needed. Yeah, I'm not going to do the second song today, y'all. It doesn't feel like it hits the mood of the moment. But y'all, we're in a bad place. I wish I could tell you we weren't, and we are going to have to keep coming together. We're going to have to keep doing, and this sounds paradoxical to say. Let me say some of the things you're saying here. Yeah. James Meyer says that some other country has to accept them. They aren't likely. I know, James. So then what happens? James? What happens when you round up a lot of people and then you discover nobody's going to take all these warehoused people from you? Then what do you do with them? I'm not going to say it today, but Kat already has. It does feel surreal. It does feel surreal. Liz Moen says this: Trump has lied so many times that people don't know when to believe him. Bottom line is, if he promotes it, if it promotes Donald J. Trump, it's a lie. It brings harm to others. It's true. Oh, interesting. Liz Liz is giving us a skeleton key to unpack the words of Donald Trump. Interesting. I'm going to confess I'd never thought about this till you said it just then. Liz is suggesting that when Trump does a self-promotion to himself or his business or anything, that's a lie. He's lying about his own gifts or skills or accomplishments. But if he's telling you something about what he's going to do to other people, believe him. I think you have just found the skeleton key, Liz, and I've never heard anyone say that before. If they have, confess I haven't heard that. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Marty. Rick Moen says this, it's a hard song to sing. It is. It is a hard song. I got to tell you, I don't want to sing it. Do you? No, I know you, Rick. Unbelievable. Michael Wesley says this, it's not just ICE we have to confront. The National Guard is developing quick reaction force of troops trained in crowd control and civil disturbance that can be deployed to UF cities by January, directed and maintained by a specialized military. James Meyer says this, that fire, he's going back to the fire in Mississippi. That fire did a number on me, James says. My mom's house was torched twice by the KKK in Louisville next to their SBC seminary. We talk as Christians about the word that rises from the Jewish relationship to the Torah, and to see the ashes of those scrolls like the Nazis. I know. He's talking about, James is talking about, on the news, they showed pictures of the charred remains of the scrolls. My God, people, here's where we are. How do we get mainline churches to get together and push back in a big collective way to promote change, much like the civil rights movement? That is the question, isn't it? I think it's going to have to happen, David. I think it is happening. Stay tuned. That's all I can tell you. It is happening in other places. There have been clergy who've been arrested. There are people on trial now for blocking an ICE facility in Chicago. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. All right, y'all. Grim day. I'm sorry to be so grim. I guess my mood is grim about this. I did make this little thing, though. I posted this. You can find this on my Facebook. Just remember what Jesus says, y'all. Jesus says you are the salt of the earth. We all know what salt does to ice. Just keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind today. Maybe that's our closing word. All right, friends. It's time to go. I'm sorry to bum you out and then leave. We did the one song from Buffalo Springfield. Do encourage you to go to Substack and read my essay. I hope you'll read the essay on the good that Nicole Good was. What is good with America? Renee Good was what's good with America. And I believe that. And I believe that there are a majority of people in this country that are disgusted by all of this. And I just hope we can rise up in time. And I have no idea whether we can. I've said this for years, whether I wasn't sure we were going to survive. And I still don't know. But I know what we have to do, and we know what we have to do. Good morning, Alan. Good to see you, buddy. We know what we have to do. We know what the calling is. We know, those of us who are Christians, as David calls mainline Christians, we know that we are called to accept the power God gives us to resist evil, injustice, and oppression. We know that. We know that's what the calling is. And we just have to gird our loins to do it. I do think that's why church is important in this time. I think that we mainlines, as fractured and small as we are, we have a very important part to play here as hubs for people to get support, to get spiritual uplifting in their own anxiety so that we can go out into the world and make a difference. You've heard me say this for months. That's where I think we are. Okay, friends, thank you for being here. I probably didn't make you feel any better this morning. Probably not a lot of comfort here, but important stuff to talk about. So friends, this has been Coffee on the Porch. Until next week, bless you and keep you. God bless you and keep you, and we'll see you then, okay? Bye-bye.